And 15 people in critical condition following an accident on the Ofankor barrier overpass on the Accra-Kumasi Road. The accident, which occurred Monday morning, involved a trailer and 2 commercial buses. The cause of the accident is not immediately known, but the injured persons have been rushed to the 37 military hospital. On phone with the details is PSA Nanayao Safo, and he's joining us. Good morning, PSA. Hello, good morning, PSA.
I'm sorry, I'm not too sure if I'm also PSA, but I'm not called PSA. This is Nanaya Akwada. We're intending
okay, Nanaya.
Yes.
Sure, no problem. Nanaya, can you tell us what's happening there as we speak? And the Bureau of Public Safety has noted that the leading cause of casualties within the last quarter, that is between July and September, is transportation-related events. Violent crime-related deaths increased by 54%, and reports of violent crime increased by 77% between Q2 and 3 of this year. I've been joined by Nanaya Akwada. He's the Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety, and he'll be telling us a little bit more about this. Good morning, Nanayao.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, these findings are very worrying. What exactly could be fueling this increase?
Well, if you are talking about possible contributing factors, I would move you to basically programs that state entities are pursuing in the field of transportation. We want to find out what programs and activities that are being pursued by, for say, the National Road Safety Commission. How robust is law enforcement on our road as far as the MTTD is concerned? If we cannot evaluate our activities and programs over time, there are chances that this trend that we see between January and September, or if you like, July and September, will not take a dive as we want it to. What we are seeing that the trend is just going up, and I believe that shortly, when the full report is issued, we will get the opportunity of appreciating how these factors, how these public safety events are hitting the nation, both at the economic level and at the social level.
And also joining us on the line is my colleague PSA. He is at the Ofankor accident site, and we're going to speak to him for a few details. Good morning, PSA.
Good morning, Anymore.
How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Awesome. So what's going on there right now?
Yes, so as of now, the MTTD have been busy. They have cleared the road, and the traffic situation is gradually returning to normal.
So what's exactly happened this morning? Has the cause of the accident been established?
The cause has not been established yet, but the police have that active investigations have begun as of now concerning how exactly it happened. And for our listeners who might have missed out on that, it was between a trailer truck, a black saloon car, and a commercial bus known popularly as Trotro in our local parlance. The Trotro with registration number DR47112. We do not know its destination is unclear as of now, but we know it harbored about 16 passengers, and they are in critical condition at the moment.
PSA, were there any casualties?
No confirmed casualties as of now, even though they are in critical condition, we've been told.
Okay, but how many people were involved in the accident?
About 15, we are told, were in the Trotro vehicle that had the accident. As of now, we are yet to confirm further details from the MTTD of the district here in Achimota Mile 7.
Do we know how quickly the police or the ambulances were able to reach the accident site?
According to eyewitnesses, they were here quite swiftly within a period of 15 to 20 minutes. Were
PSA?
Yes, anymore.
Okay. Well, thank you for bringing us that. We'll come back to you a little later on to find out what's going. Before you go, though, how is the traffic situation at the moment?
Well, the traffic situation, as you've imagined, began. It was quite lumpy in the beginning, with several cars being diverted to the second part of the highway. But gradually, the MCCD have worked and it's easing up gradually for the taxi drivers and commuters around here.
Right. Thank you very much for that. And I'm crossing over right back to Nanayao Akwada. Sir, are you still there with us?
Yes, I'm here with you.
Okay, so this accident happened this morning, and it's interesting because we're talking about the fact that accidents are one of the leading causes of casualties on the road. How exactly did you come by those findings, and is it Accra specific or is it nationwide?
Well, thank you very much. We started this exercise as far back as 2014, and we piloted it for 3 years. 2017, we started issuing the BPS Crime Watch report. These statistics are sourced from 10 online portals associated with popular radio and TV stations in the country who are registered and operating under the guidelines of the National Media Commission.
Okay.
When these statistics are gathered, we subject them to a 72-hour validation period, and there are other tools that we use to validate them. That's how we source these statistics. It's important to also put out there that because we observe that quarter-on-quarter transportation-related events were claiming so many lives and injuring so many people, this year the Bureau of Public Safety, in collaboration with the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, are organizing the 5th Biennial National Safety Conference, and the theme is on transportation safety and security. We are seeking to bring together all the stakeholders, including the critical mass, which we refer to as occupational safety and health practitioners at the enterprise level, to come together on the 31st at Coconut Grove, where we go into the belly of some of these statistics and then look at existing programs and activities that are already running with the aim of, bringing these statistics down, point out the deficiencies, and be able to fine-tune these programs, if possible, review all those programs entirely so that we can get the numbers, to come down as significantly as possible.
Nanayao, I want to talk about the fact that violent crimes have gone up. But just before we do that, though, so we know that accidents are one of the leading causes of people dying, the cause of casualties. But do we know what is causing these road accidents?
Well, we have an idea, at least per the National Road Safety Commission's report year on year, and reports also regularly occasionally issued by the Research Department of the Motor Traffic and Transport Department, indicates that out of the 3 factors that play on the road, that is the driver, the road, and the machine, if you like, the vehicle, we observed that driver behavior or driver contributes massively to road crashes. And so if we are able to tackle just a bit of driver behavior, we will be able to almost halve the statistics, to the extent that we have the National Road Safety Commission out there embarking on training programs, embarking on advocacy, awareness, to the extent that we have the DVLA doing what they do on daily basis at their offices, and the figures are not turning out any good. It points to a possible deficiency or a possible inadequacy in the kind of programs and the approach to the way they are delivering their mandate. And so I believe that come 31st of October, when we meet at Coconut Grove, we will be able to have a good discussion and come up with something tangible to get the figures to if you like, begin to look good.
Nanayao, so the Bureau is reporting as well that violent crime has gone up. And also the reporting of violent crime about 77%. Can you break this down for us? What exactly do you mean by violent crime?
Well, basically, when we talk about violent crime, we are making reference to someone using force. And if you don't mind, I can read to you a portion of the full report, which will be going live in a few hours. The violent crime, as defined by the Bureau, involves the use of force by a perpetrator on a victim. Murder, manslaughter, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, sexual assault, among others. In our definition, however, the phenomenon of mob justice has been isolated, blah, blah, blah. But basically, when we talk about violent crime, we are talking of a crime in which the perpetrator applies force on his victim. And the examples are the ones I've listed for you. Right. There are a lot more which are in the report. And in the report, if you look at the full report, we have a place where we have a crime and violent crime breakdown, where you see how they all stand. For instance, you look at murder cases, aggravated assault, armed robbery, fraud, theft, galamsey, traffic offense, drug peddling, a lot of them. And we have presented them in a graph and how they stand, you will see. But if you don't mind, I can just hit for you the top three.
Okay.
The top three in this breakdown are all violent crimes, and they are murder, aggravated assault, and armed robbery. These are the top three. They top in the second quarter, and they are topping in the third quarter with an increase, about 36% increase in cases of murder. However, aggravated assault and armed robbery reduced by over 20%. And so that's how the third quarter looks like. When we talk about violent crime, murder cases continue to grow, armed robbery has reduced, and aggravated assault has reduced.
Okay.
The factors that we believe are playing into this are, we suspect that you observe that in the last few weeks, since the new IGP was appointed, of course, was given the position to act. He has done a lot of swoops, he has done a lot of operations, and we believe that might account for the reduction in armed robbery. We also observe the growth in the murder cases because over time, the Ghana Police Service has done a very poor job when it comes to closing murder cases. And so people with intent to murder are more confident that if I am moving into someone's place and I plan this very well, I can still execute murder and get away with it. And so people who have intent to murder are getting away with such crimes a lot more than armed robbers will. And so the crime of murder and manslaughter is growing. And the earlier we nip this in the bud, the better. And we have put forward some recommendations in our half-year report in line with our policy that every 6 months we make recommendations to state agencies.
Right.
And those recommendations that appeared in the half-year report in June are still relevant to tackle this issue of murder and the other violent crimes that we put out there.
Nanaya, contract killing has also gone up significantly. Does this have anything to do with the fact that we're not really successful at regulating the use of guns, the bringing in of guns, and the possession of arms?
Well, it's a contributing factor, but when we talk about contract killing, I think it's okay for us to, in our private conversation, we can't make reference to it as contract killing.
Okay.
But for a formal platform like yours now, we may not be able to say it's a contract killing. It may be someone personally who is executing a personal vendetta on someone. So let's just classify all of them as killing. We realize that out of 204 reports of violent crimes that we monitored between January and September this year, 43% involved the use of guns. 43% involve the use of guns. And so guns, the use of guns in commission of crime is becoming increasingly pervasive in our lives. And so we also urge the Small Arms Commission, the CID department of the Ghana Police Service, and all relevant stakeholders, especially the Ministry of Interior, to up its game at retrieving guns and tracking guns in the hands of people who are not supposed to possess or own such guns. And of course, that will not be the only. We know the bigger conversation is really about policing our borders. And I think that the earlier we start looking at these places, the better, because 43% use of guns in commission of violent crimes anywhere in a country where we don't have easy rules for people to own guns, should be something that we should raise eyebrows about. It's not like, say, you are in America where it's easy to walk into a shop and buy a gun. Yeah. So for a country like ours with very, very conservative rules and stringent rules about possessing and using of guns, 43% is really alarming that we have to look at.
Indeed, very alarming. Thank you very much, Nanaya Akwada, for joining us this morning. And in a related story, one person has been confirmed dead in an accident at Aboabo in the Ashanti region. Another person, a driver of a commercial bus, is in critical condition. The accident occurred when a cargo truck the two were traveling in crashed with another vehicle on the Aboabo airport stretch. Eyewitnesses tell JoyNews the brakes of the vehicle failed, crashing into 3 other vehicles. Correspondent Mohammed Nuruddin is joining me with more details. Good morning, Mohammed.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, Mohammed.
Yeah, good morning.
Has the situation been brought under control as we speak?
Yeah, before I left the scene, the situation has been brought. Police personnel wouldn't burn ties or block the road again. Now, this road was awarded for construction sometime this year, but residents say nothing has been done to complete the construction after the contractor had come to do some work on it. The residents believe that if that stretch was motorable, such incidents and many others would not have occurred.
Okay, Mohammed, let's start this from the beginning. Okay, so there was an accident this morning, but you're telling us that there have been some previous issues with the road?
Exactly. The road was bad. So it was awarded for some construction, earlier this year.
Okay.
So there was a contractor there. He came to grade the road. And so residents expected that the construction of the road would complete anytime soon. But as we speak now, the road has become worse. So when this particular cargo truck failed brake, just after the Aboabo post office, it ran into other vehicles. And they are saying that if the road was more trouble, those vehicles who were struggling to drive through that particular road would have gone before the incident had occurred.
Okay.
So that is their complaint. So they are saying that it is because of the road, the bad nature of the road, that is why that particular cargo truck, crashed into these vehicles, killing the conductor and injuring the driver himself.
Okay, you mentioned something about some of the residents burning ties.
Yes, they were not happy about the incident because they have made several appeals to city authorities to come to to their aid, because they have seen and witnessed some similar incidents in the past weeks. So when that happened, it became, they were angry, and then they rushed onto the scene, started burning ties and blocking the road. So it took the timely intervention of the police and the fire service personnel to be able to clear the road so that other passengers and other motorists could be able to use it. And so that was what happened earlier today. They were very angry with the whole incident because they didn't expect it, an accident to occur on that particular stretch.
Okay, so by the time you were leaving the accident site, had it calmed down? Had the situation calmed down?
The situation was brought under control by the police personnel. Armed police personnel were brought there immediately, and they were able to bring the situation under control. But residents were still there, and they are expecting something to be done anytime soon, because this is not the first time, though this is the first time somebody is dying on that particular route, but this is not the first time they have experienced such incidents. They are saying that a lot of vehicles have been broken down on that particular road, and so they want authorities to make sure the road will be constructed anytime soon, so that they wouldn't witness such incidences in the near future.
Okay, and just before you go, has there been any official statement or response by the authorities?
For now, no. Before I left the scene, there wasn't any official statement from authorities. I actually didn't see anyone from the Asokorimam from Municipal Assembly or anyone from the Kumasi Metropolis to speak to that issue. I'm trying to get in touch with them to see how what they are saying about the accident, and what residents are also requesting from them, what they are going to do about the road in the next few days.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us, Mohammed. Very grateful for that.